we realized that they are infusing money. There is a fresh capital coming into the ecosystem. If we solve the problem, this entire captive capital can be brought into the ecosystem where they don't need the higher working capital, but this can be benefited to all of the retail investor and participants who are shaping up this entire ecosystem. And that's where we decided to bring Zeebu as a token, which is deflationary in nature. And with the burning protocol, we have a Phoenix protocol in place which burns Zeebu after each transaction. So that helps us for removing the cost and the slippage issue.
Anything that we do, it's all extremely credible and community centric, user centric, and real thought leadership centric.
Okay, yo, what is up? I am Charlie with Wolf Financial, and today we have Zeebu with us, and we are with Raghav and Keshav. Yes, thank you guys so much for joining us. And today we're going to break down what Zeebu's doing, how they're doing it, and what they're building on the back of the telecoms industry. So if you guys want to introduce yourself, Raghav, please give a little bit of background, what you do, how you do it, and all that.
Very happy to be here. Firstly, thank you so much. Our partnership and collaboration with Wolf has been very fruitful, and we look forward for a very long and great win-win collaboration. Like you introduced, my name is Raghav. Though I am Dr. Raghavendra Hunasgi, I prefer not to say doctor when we are in the Web3 world. I am the co-founder of Zeebu and the chief marketing officer. Everything you see around the branding, the collaborations, the marketing is my baby. Have been very fortunate to be part of the founding team along with my two very capable founders, Keshav and Raj. All things branding, all things marketing, all things go-to-market at Zeebu is something that's part of my day job. Prior to Zeebu, I've been a serial entrepreneur, have built and sold 2 companies, have worked in some of the largest companies on the planet like Google, Infosys, and few others. Super thrilled to be part of the Web3 journey and more excited to be solving a real-world problem and helping telecom carriers globally beat the payment issue. Super excited and thrilled. My co-founder here, Keshav, will tell more about what's in store for us in the days to come. But that's a little bit about me and what I do.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure.
Hi, Charlie. Thanks a lot for your time today. And it feels super excited speaking with you at the Wolf podcast. So I'm Keshav Pandya. This is my 12th year in the Web3 space. I started my Web3 journey back in 2013 when I was helping Indian banks for solving the domestic remittance issue. So that was my first company. So this is my third. Zeebu is the third business initiative which I am doing. Before that, I have taken a 2 exit. So I started my journey with the tech company, then worked with Kotak, and over Kotak I realized there is a significant amount of opportunity as India was transforming itself into the cashless payment ecosystem. So I started my first venture in 2012 by focusing on aggregation business, which includes the payments, mobile top-ups, and the remittances. And in 2014, I came up with 2013, I came up with the functional product, which was focused on domestic remittance solutions for Indian banks. Because NPCI, which is now UPI flagship product across the globe, everyone is talking about cashless transaction, which gets powered by NPCI. So NPCI launched their instant payment system, and banks were willing to adopt it for domestic remittance because in India, at that point in time, the cash movement from the migrant and non-banked consumers to banked consumer was a big part because laborers were moving all around, the migrants and laborers were traveling all across the country. So they need to send money back to their home into the bank account, and that's where this instant payments was required. We created a solution around it. It was more a B2B solution. We went to bank, helped them with the instant payment gateway where they can enable this gateway via outlet, multiple distribution outlets, and using which the settlements can be done. So at that point in time, we even in my previous journey when I was working with Kotak, I realized the financial systems the banking CBS are working with a large gap where 2 banks cannot see each other's account, even though we say it's online connected banking ecosystem, but the real banks are not really interconnected. And that's where in 2013 I started my journey with the blockchain initiatives, started learning about how blockchains are functioning, and I was trying to create a next generation product for, again, focusing onto the payment system itself. And that's where I got introduced to the Web3 world. And then ended up creating a company in Australia, which was for providing match engine and settlement service platform, which was SPay, to many of the crypto exchanges. Because when I started understanding blockchain more, I realized there is a significant amount of gap into the settlements, into the when you want to trade, just you go back in time, imagine 2013-14, how difficult it was to trade on centralized exchanges. They were very inefficient. So that's where I started building up my technology stake. And the idea was to create a match engine and provide solution to all of the exchanges which are coming up. So yeah, from there I started the journey and put together all of the experience about payment, about settlements, about this high performance system we brought into the Zeebu. When I sold my third company to Bankai Ventures, so Bankai Ventures have invested into telecom, fintech, agriculture, but they were focusing on setting up the interim financing and factoring business. And when my company, my sell of transaction was happening, so Bankai Ventures was structuring their Carriox Capital as a business. So at that point in time, I came into interaction with them. I realized how the money movement is happening between telcos, and for the telco there is an aggregator in between, which are called carriers. So at that point in time, I told them that there can be an efficient way to solve the problem, and that's how we started working on Zeebu as a whole. That how we can make the payment and settlement seamless across the globe for wholesale payments. Because we have seen emergence of TransferWise, we have seen PayPals of the world, which are helping us for doing everyday payment and instant payment across the globe for retail payment. But there are no solution focused onto the large size wholesale payment. And that's where we started structuring the Zeebu and started talking to all of the telecom CXOs, CFOs, that what it takes for them to adopt Web3, because it's completely different. And we were trying to use not Web3 as a token, but we were trying to come up with the payment system which should be connected, which should be easy to adopt and trustless. And that's where, after multiple different iteration into the product, we thought let's adopt Web3 as a money rail. And that's where Zeebu is born.
Oh my gosh, wow, what a tenure, y'all. Yeah, you guys are beasts. What was wrong with the telecoms industry before? Like where did you guys come in and you're like, this is the friction and this is how we go at ease? Like, what was that friction like?
Yeah, so there was nothing wrong, but yeah, there were few bottlenecks, right? And the telecom carrier is just our first use case, and we intend to take this to a lot of other industries. There were three very, in particular, very big challenges. A, there is always a wire transfer fee that happens when you transfer money from one, country to another, one subcontinent to another. Two, there are banking delays. Three, in developing economies, let's say you are transferring money from one of the developing economies to, let's say, the other, let's say from Egypt to the South African countries, there can be a problem with the, the forex, the availability of liquidity, currency, and all of that.
Between two currencies.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay.
And so the problem was, how do we address all of this, yet have a very robust, very reliable, and almost near instant way of settling it. One of our customers, you might have seen a lot of in our videos, we kind of emphasize on this. When we were working on that whole solving the payment problem, one of the customers narrated that it took almost 8 to 12 days for them to receive the payment after the wire was done. So how do we bring this down from 8 to 12 days? Under 10 minutes was the problem that we went after. And like Keshav was telling, it was not about building a token or launching a token. It was about building a technology platform that will solve this problem, was the main thing. And when we tested it, when we did it well, we, initial half, when you look at our white paper pitch deck, we did it with a stable token. And that's when we realized we can bring immense value where we launch our own, value transfer mechanism. That's how Zeebu was born. But that's the main problem that we went after.
Got it. And
yep,
please.
And To double click on this problem statement, like if you imagine a day for a company or CFO where he needs to collect payment, the customers are spread across all 180 countries, and he need to pay among again into the entire world. Because think of a AT&T, they cannot really predict where the subscribers will travel today, so they have to maintain the prepaid cycle with all of the operator wherever they want to provide as connectivity services, be it a roaming data, be it a call or SMS termination. So this is humanly not possible. So that's where the carrier companies come in. They are large size aggregators. So their role is to directly deal with the telecom companies. So think this as your internet service provider. So your internet service provider, you are paying them in advance till the time your credits are available or your payments are available. They allow you to stay connected with rest of the world over the internet, right? Yes. So it's a connectivity business. Same thing happens for the carriers as well. Till the time they maintain their prepaid account with other part of the world, like with all of the telecom operator, they can provide the services. Now, for them, it's very important that they never lose the connectivity because of the payment issue. But because the moment they are not able to service the traffic, the telecom operator will switch to other aggregator, and it takes them forever for bringing back that traffic. It's a direct business loss for them, not because of their infrastructure, but because of the delay in payment. Because these carriers have to maintain prepaid payments with all of the operator. Like if AT&T works with Broadband Telecom, who is an aggregator and who's like in the top 5 carrier. So Broadband Telecom, if they want to provide services with Do Telecom of Dubai or Jio Mobile of the India or Vodafone of UK, so they have to go and make the interconnect with them, make them prepaid advance. Now, if they don't have credit available, they cannot help AT&T to get connected with them, and AT&T will switch the service provider from Broadband Telecom to someone else. Now, for Broadband Telecom, they have to, like if they need to pay to all of this operator, they have to first collect money from the service who are consumer, like AT&T or others who want to send traffic. So first they have to collect money. It takes time for getting the settlement, and then they have to pay to all of the different currencies. So their receiving currencies are different, their paying currencies are different. So they have to literally do the spread coverance, like they have to deal with at a time 10 to 12 currencies. Their rates are every day varying, it is constantly changing. So for them, it's very difficult to constantly maintain the spread charges, the forex conversion fees, it's in their banks, and it was one of the biggest expenditure for them. And then we realized, like, this is not the problem only for telecom. This is a common problem for any business who are engaged into export, who are engaged into the like multiple different countries related businesses.
Because the forex and liquidity is happening every time. Wow.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, so in this journey, we experimented with stable. But again, the issue came with the same thing, that you are using a stable token, but how you will solve the problem of the spread cost. Because when you convert a dollar to AED, you convert a dollar to pound or euro, any other currency, right? So every day the forex market is varying. Now it is not possible, like hedging is quite possible, but if you have a predictable flow everywhere, then and then you can do the hedging. But when you don't have the predictable traffic, right, then it's very expensive. Now when you bring the stables, so there is an additional cost of on-ramp and off-ramp those stable token, and that is becoming nearly unadoptable for all of these businesses. Because when crypto boom started, all of these companies tried doing this by themselves by using stable token, but the cost of on-ramping and off-ramping was very high, that it is more expensive. The convenience is there, so they were trying to adopt, and that brought our attention that they want to adopt this because there are huge convenience option for them. The real money is moving between two parties, and there are alternative markets, centralized exchanges are available where they can go and liquidate it. But the on-ramp and off-ramp cost was a big hurdle for them. So that's where we started working on a financial modeling. We all came together that, okay, now the industry is there, we can definitely solve the problem, but the biggest challenge, the mammoth challenge, is how we can narrow down the cost and who will bear the cost of entire transaction. Because for them, the current cost was killing their margin. This entire industry operates at a very thin margin. between 5 to 6%. Out of this 5 to 6%, they end up paying 3.5%, 2.5 to 3.5% into the bank charges and everything. And this is to both the party, not the single side. So practically they were losing 60% of their margin into this for money movement cost. And that's where the industry was also suffering a lot. And on top of this, due to this delay, they were taking working capital financing. So apart from this cost, they will also bear the cost of financing as well. And that was an opportunity point for us. We realized that they are infusing money. There is a fresh capital coming into the ecosystem. If we solve the problem, this entire captive capital can be brought into the ecosystem where they don't need the higher working capital, but this can be benefited to all of the retail investor and participants who are shaping up this entire ecosystem. And that's where we decided to bring Zeebu as a token, which is deflationary in nature. And with the burning protocol, we have a Phoenix protocol in place which burns Zeebu after each transaction. So that helps us for removing the cost and the slippage issue. That if at the time of transaction you are buying Zeebu from one part of the world and selling other part of the world, so this solves with Zeebu token, it becomes unified token for them. So instead of dealing with 10 to 12 different currencies, now they just have to worry about only Zeebu. Second thing, they can avail Zeebu from any of the centralized exchanges. So they don't have to literally worry about forex conversion between 3 or 4 currencies. And on the receiving side, we were trying to, now when we brought in Zeebu, Raghav, if you can recall, another issue popped up. On the receiving side, they were worried about like if price goes up or down, how will we manage our books? And that was another bottleneck for us.
It's almost like
this was like a dead end for us, because if you are bringing in a token which is solving 2 or 3 problems, but when it was difficult to adopt by both the parties, sender and receiver, because Zeebu is again a speculative token. If we become stable token, then it's the same issue like USDT and everything. The spread cost will come in, the on-ramp, off-ramp cost will come in. So how to solve this point? So at that point in time, then we bring the settlement as a model, and that brought our attention to a larger ecosystem and problem in the Web3 as well. Because in Web3, we are seeing there are exchanges, there are payment gateways, but no one is talking about settlements. Because if you see, the industry is now more than $2 trillion in the value, right? If we go to CoinMarketCap, it shows like it's more than $2 trillion cumulative value of all of the token. But how much is a money movement there? If you as a business wants to accept payment in Bitcoin, right now we are in Bitcoin Nashville. Everyone is talking about Bitcoin narrative. Since last 6 years, we are witnessing Lightning Network as the prominent option to adopt payments. But as a business, as a Wolf Financial, if today I'm remitting you $1,000, if tomorrow it becomes 900, you will not accept it. If it becomes 1200, definitely you are happy. But there are equal chance that it can also become $1,000, can become 900 as well. And that's where that was the biggest adoption barrier for entire crypto industry. And in the Zeebu, we brought in the settlement layer, and that's how the Zeebu ecosystem got created. That Zeebu is a deflationary token meant for settlement. So businesses are using Zeebu as a mode of payment, but the receiver always receives stable token. So because he is receiving towards the settlement, he don't have to worry about on-ramp cost. Off-ramp is any which way is premium. They are getting premium. If you can compare depending on the country from 0.10% to 1%, or even like countries like India where 10% is the premium. If you off-ramp your 1 USDT, you get 10% higher value in your local fiat. So that was like adoption accelerator for us. And that's how the entire ecosystem got created.
Oh my gosh. Wow. You guys did it good. There's a lot of times like with crypto companies, you don't actually find where the tech is used exactly at what it solves. And it seems like you guys, you had an issue that blockchain solved instead of having a blockchain and creating a business. Like you brought the tech to the problem instead of having a tech and then creating a business on top of it, which we see a lot and it doesn't work. crypto. And even to be honest, like we had vetted and talked to Anthony from Coinbase a little bit and had talked to him about y'all and done our due diligence. And he spoke so highly of you guys. And he said, they're the real deal. They're doing something good. So that's really why we had even opened this up with you guys, because there was trust already that you guys were legitimate. So no, this kind of brings us to like the efforts that you're doing now. So now you've kind of solved something with settlements, all these transactions on the telecoms industry, reduced friction. Now where are you? What's the marketing push? What's the next thing? Like what's going on right now?
So go ahead. We would like to talk about what we achieved in last 12 months.
Yeah, I mean,
Please.
sure. So I'll probably tell what we have done so far,
Please.
where we stand, and then Keshav will tell you what's cooking and what's keeping us up all night. So
Absolutely.
So from a marketing standpoint, right? I mean, the proof is in the pudding. The numbers you see. Our overall community size is very close to 500,000 active users, be it on Telegram, be it on our Twitter, be it on our social media and all of that. Having said that, you look at any of the top conferences where you have real credible thought leadership, we paint the conference with Zeebu, and we are super proud of what we do. If you look at consensus this year, 85% of them came back with an inquiry that, what the hell is Zeebu? Has Zeebu taken over consensus?
That's what up with us. We were like, yeah. We didn't know.
Yeah, so a lot of these things, right, that kind of as a CMO makes me feel extremely proud of what we've been doing from a marketing standpoint. We've been moving the needle consistently, month after month, quarter after quarter, event after event. Like for example, our partnership with Wolf, our partnerships with Crypto Megan.
Yeah.
A lot of people said, wow, these are like phenomenal things you're doing, right? I mean, we don't want to go after so-called influencers in crypto,
That's right.
who lack the depth. We want to partner with, we want to be seen with folks who are actually change makers in the industry. I mean, I'm sure you can recollect, we probably got on 10 calls before we inked the whole partnership.
Yes, sir.
That's only because we know that you guys are doing a lot of credible work, You're pushing the envelope, and we knew that this is the partnership we want to go after. Even if we have to wait, let's wait and get it done.
Yes.
Having said that, if you look at some of our after parties, we're super thrilled. I mean, after this show, we're all going to the Top Golf.
Yeah.
We pick the finest venue. We do the whole buyout. That's only because our investors, our stakeholders, our community members, the whole Zeebu fam is excited and looking forward to it, right?
Yes.
Be it the Token 2049, be it Dubai, be it Singapore edition, be it any part of the world. If Zeebu is going there, then people know that we have to expect something phenomenally out of the world, out of the box. We were the first ones at Token 2049 in Singapore to host the yacht party.
Yes.
And the crowd was so overwhelming that, Keshav had to make few calls. We actually had booked one yacht, but the crowd was so overwhelming that we ended up filling 3 yachts. That's how massive our after parties are.
Yeah.
And not just that. I mean, you look at anything that we do, it's all extremely credible and community centric, user centric, and real thought leadership centric. We don't believe in doing anything just to create hype.
Yes.
I mean, the amount of money we have spent on sponsorships, I'm sure we could have paid and got probably 5x more followers.
Yeah.
But we don't believe in doing that. We believe in doing extremely credible, extremely thought through things in marketing.
Yes.
And that is what has been if you ask me, the recap of last 1 year of our existence, from 0 to 500K has been quite a journey.
Yes.
From 50 cents to $5 plus has been quite a journey. From having engagement with one KOL to bringing the most credible guys like yourself, like Crypto Megan, everybody on board, has been quite a journey. I mean, it has been a phenomenal learning. Not that we knew everything day one. Obviously we learned through the process. But one thing that we are very clear from day one, all 3 of us as founders, is we want to do things that are extremely credible, core to the mission, and completely value driven. And that's what has been, making us successful, day after day, month after month.
Yeah. Well, just to piggyback, like when we had talked to Anthony from Coinbase, we were tentative because crypto companies, it's for us, somebody that's new to the game, most of the people we're working with, VanEck and Coinbase and Kraken and Qcoin. And so you guys were new players. And so when we did our due diligence and found out like this is legit, like a real company doing good things, and talking with you guys has just been a breath of fresh air because you're great. So no, please, yeah, thank you so much. I'm not sure. So now where are we at? What's our new efforts? What are we doing?
Yeah, so this is month of July we are speaking. So last year, July 2023, we on the 21st July, we did our first transaction, right? The Bankai Venture, who is the UBO and ultimate board member for us, so they were very clear that we want to go conservative first, that the ideation what you are talking, if it gets proven, then and then we will accelerate to the last mile. We will invite retail participation. Till that time, let's build the curiosity that what is Zeebu all about, what you guys are doing in. So in last 1 year, when we started, the benchmark for us was to process and achieve 1.8 billion US dollar worth of transactions in the settlement by onboarding the 25 plus merchants. That was our North Star metrics for year one. And as a result, as we are speaking right now, we crossed 3.3 billion in transaction settlement. We have 100 plus merchants with us who are using Zeebu as a mode of payment, actively transacting on it. We have a wait list of more than 300 businesses. You can visit dashboard.zeebu.com, which gives you complete interactive journey about it. More than 50,000 invoices has been settled using ZBU token, and we processed the number of transactions. So as Zeebu is a deflationary token, it was difficult for us, like it was hell lot of difficulty for us to make this understand for exchanges, for coin market cap and some of the crypto gigs, because right now everyone starts thinking that it should be a fractional multiple 0-cent token, and then it goes to the higher valuation because there are no fundamental business, everything is speculation driven. In our case, the token is really performing and you getting utilized in the transaction. Every day, the range is between 30 to 40 million US dollar worth of invoices get settled using ZBU, and those ZBU goes out of the circulating supply, it gets burned. So as we speak right now, we have, when I say 3.3 billion in transaction volume, the 3rd August is the burning date for this quarter. By that time, we will burn 3 billion worth of Zeebu token. Means that has been purchased from the centralized exchanges, came into the settlement, and now going into the out of the supply. So the substance which was set for 1.8 billion, we crossed it significantly with the higher number, or like you can consider it as 200% achievement on that side. On top of that, right now, the tier 1 telecom operators, Vodafone of the world, Orange Telecom of the world, Tuvalu Telecom, Vodafone, Cook Island, they have signed up with us. They want to use Zeebu in their, not only for businesses, but they want to explore synergy for the retail payment, where the roamers can use Zeebu in via their cards or as a remittance solution. So they already signed up. They signed the MOU with us. So that's like extra mile achievement for us on that regard. Now, so far, as per the mandate, we had to wait to achieve the number. Now we are coming up with the public release of the Zeebu protocol. So we launched our waitlist on 21st July. It was the anniversary for us. So we announced protocol.zeebu.com, which is a waitlist URL where every single person, crypto enthusiast, can be a part and take advantage of the Zeebu protocol. So what we are doing now, that instead of giving token which has no value, we are taking 2% charge, which is the fresh capital contributed by businesses in the fees, and we distribute 1.4% as a protocol reward. So whoever is becoming and taking part into the protocol, they will be eligible to take advantage of this 1.4% which comes in as a protocol reward. Now, if you see the number, in next 12 months, basis on the existing merchant what we have, they want to process 14 billion in transaction volume cumulatively. So 14 billion means if you do the math, Zeebu will collect 280 million US dollar in fees.
Wow.
Right? So that's a big number. Out of this 280 million US dollar, which is the revenue of the company, we will distribute 70% of it as a protocol reward.
Wow.
right? So that's the opportunity we are bringing on table, and to invite all of the community members, to crypto enthusiasts, KOL, thought leaders. The waitlist has been started. It's right now invite only. So we are working with with Wolf to take help us for building up the awareness. So now for next 3 to 4 months, we are setting up the roadmap for us, the campaign where we will start with awareness. So the idea is to make everyone understand how Zeebu is working, what is ZBU, and what is Zeebu protocol all about. So in Zeebu protocol, there are 3 main elements. We are inviting validators to set up the trust network and build up the infrastructure, because to process $14 billion worth of transaction, this is not one. We have recently signed up MOU with Royal Family of Abu Dhabi. So they wants to come in and set up an additional use case with us, because the bullion market is facing the same issue like Telecom. When they realize like we are taking the ADGM license, we are in talks with them. So they express interest that they want to come in, they want to be a part, and they want to use Zeebu into the bullion market, which is, so when I say a telecom market, but what is all that market about? It's the entire market size is $120 billion market for between telecom carriers, which is telecom voice, SMS, and data. So we are right now focusing on achieving 25 billion in settlement in next 24 months. So out of this 24 billion, we have commitment from the businesses who are actively using Zeebu right now. They want to process 14 billion in next 12 months. Wow. So to do that mammoth task, we need larger infrastructure, because if you see the total 500 telecom carriers, if they get onboarded, depending on the geolocation of there will be a chance that we will have to service them with 300 TPS in the bandwidth. So to achieve this bandwidth, we are inviting validation partners with us who will set up the validator node, and they will make sure they will help us in setting up the transaction. So in the settlement process, these validators will not only act as a trust network, but they will also increase the transactional bandwidth. They'll contribute the gas into the transaction. And to do that thing, we are also tying up with the other blockchain. So right now we are on Binance chain and Ethereum. We are adding base chain as an additional one. So on the base chain, we will have the larger transaction capability, and this helps us for scaling as well. So depending on the adoption of telecom company, their preferences, they can use any chain. So Zeebu is ultimately a multi-chain token, and this validators will set up the trust network across all of this chain. So the people whoever is holding ZBU, they will become the validator by staking. It's a delegated proof of stake protocol where the delegators will get to earn up to 0.60% if out of the fees what we collect. So that allows them a larger opportunity to get APY. So currently, if someone is coming in and setting up a node, so with the current rate, eventually the rate goes up, the APY will eventually come down. But at the current rate, there are fair opportunity that they can earn up to 45% in the APY at the current rate. Because if we will process 14 billion in transaction volume, there are fair amount of chances, because the capital is not coming from the thin air, as I said previously, and the protocol reward is getting paid into the stables. If they want to retain in ZBU, they can go and purchase. So we are not creating inflation by giving our own token. The fees are coming from the businesses. They go to exchange, they buy ZBU token, and the yield is getting paid out into the stable token.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Wow, this is great. Wow, yeah, I've never seen it so well thought out, to be honest. Like we've seen, you guys know Gaiman?
Yeah.
We're good friends with, I'm good friends with the guy who led the marketing efforts for Gaiman, and that was the largest project in the whole world for a day. They had 8 million posts about them in a single moment. And they did an airdrop sort of like this, and theirs wasn't even as large. And so it'd be interesting as you guys roll this out and to see how it goes. What was that link again that people can go to?
So the people can go to protocol.zeebu.com.
Yep.
It's a waitlist. So
yeah,
it's invite only. So invite code will be distributed by the early adopters.
Yes.
So we are right now working with, we are taking your help, Megan's help, and some other thought leaders. So it's an invite only. So they will go ahead and distribute their own invite code. And based on their invitation code, the detail can become delegated delegated.
Yeah.
So in the protocol, there are only 300 seats. So what we are doing, we have announced the airdrop campaign. So there will be multiple different airdrops. So currently is a waitlist campaign, which is meant for awareness. Now every day we will talk to industry leaders, take their feedback, like how we should be structuring the governance, because for the mammoth transaction of 14 billion, there will be a massive treasury in. So to manage the treasury, to manage the transaction, to manage and make it real democratized protocol, we are bringing in Zeebu protocol as under the governance. So to set up the governance council, we are talking to industry leaders every day, and as a part of engagement, all of the waitlist members can earn ZIP point. So ZIP they can earn, and at the end of the campaign, the ZIP points can be redeemed against at the final day. We will announce the mapping of 1 point is equal to how many ZBU they can avail the ZBU token. So right now, all of the community members, Zeebu fam, can take participation into the waitlist, earn more and more ZIP points. Each time you generate your secret code, you invite more people. The people more join the waitlist with your referral code. You earn more and more ZIP points, and even the person who joins, they also earn it. And then there will be an engagement campaign where they can participate each time they see us, they listen to our AMA, they listen to our talk show, or they go to our YouTube channel officially of ours and see the video podcast, whatever we are doing, they can earn more. And after that, we are inviting the early adopters to stake their ZBU token, because as Raghav mentioned, there are significant amount of traction, but so far for them, there were no practical use of participation. There were no now they can be a part by staking ZBU, and then they can select at the end of the campaign, we will select top 300 ZIP holder, and we will invite them to set up validator node. And all of the community members can then delegate their ZBU token to this 300 node and earn the protocol reward from them. So this is more like on one side it is campaign, on the other side it is competition. So the people who perform more, who contribute more, and with the highest ZIP point holder will set up the validator node, and they will practically, we are on the other theory, we are trying to adopt a governance with a real world benchmarking.
Yes.
As we all are citizen, like you are a US citizen, I am an Indian citizen, so we all, each of us hold one vote, and we can select an elected member, right? Similarly, in the Zeebu governance, there will be 300 seats who will govern the entire Zeebu protocol. And this 300 seats will have the delegation from each Zeebu holder. So each Zeebu holder, with each Zeebu token, they get one vote, and they can delegate it to the delegated member. Now, the selected council members will form the active council. We are focusing on setting up 9 different council, and each council will have 9 members and 3 reserve members. So we will have total 125 active panel members who will proactively contribute on behalf of community into the Zeebu ecosystem. So there are focused groups, one for technology, for marketing, for tokenomics, for legal. So there are 9 different councils. So the node owners will have right to nominate member. So we are trying to balance the skill owners and the capital owners.
Absolutely.
So it's whoever, if the crypto enthusiasts who are well versed with the ecosystem, so we need them. But on the other hand, he may not be willing to invest a huge capital to come on the top leadership board. So we are trying to balance it out. So the people who are running the node, either they can invest their own capital in the trust network, or they can get the delegation from maximum people. So right now they have a fair chance that anyone can come in, set up the node based on their skill set, and they can make the awareness spreaded among the ZBU holder. The more delegation they get, the highest delegated member will get the node, so that they are getting the retained income from the fees which are coming from the protocol, and that gives him opportunity to actively contribute into the Zeebu ecosystem. So what happens that in so many governance projects we have seen, the project lacks the active participation into the voting process. And this we are we are first focusing on 125 people who set up the active governance and another 175. So total 300 council members will actively set up the council, and rest everyone can delegate their votes. So like the real world scenario, we select our elected members and they on behalf of us go and represent us into the parliament. They proactively take participation into the governance of our nations, right?
So yeah, I mean, just to summarize, right, coming back to the question that you had asked, I mean, obviously in the comments you can leave your link on the referral on how do we open, but just to summarize what Keshav was explaining in detail. The more they participate, the more they engage, the higher their chances of growing up in the value chain. B, we are trying to establish a more decentralized autonomous organization that kind of puts power in hands of multiple people, like similar to what a lot of constitutions say, right? By the people, for the people, of the people.
Yes.
Most importantly, how do we kind of make sure that everybody in the ecosystem benefits and rewards from all of this? That's like, if you have to, like, coming back to the question, if we have to tell them in 3 points, this is what it kind of means. But yeah, going in the greater details, like what Keshav mentioned, the council members, all of that will kind of together form this, the holistic ecosystem that we're building.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah, guys, this is all we have for today. Check the link below. You guys can click on it. You can get involved. And thank you so much. You guys are absolutely top notch. Wow, this is one of the better conversations I've ever had. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you.